Howdy hey everyone, and somehow there are 5,000 of you guys now. That's the same amount of troops in a Roman legion. I'm a legate now. On top of that, my 3-year anniversary on YouTube is right around the corner. So to commemorate, I'm real now. So basically how this is going to work, this is a notebook I have from when I was a little kid. First making my very first Fakemon ever, and we're gonna go through it and redesign some of the guys from here. So, yeah. Okay, starting off strong. We have these guys. These were a starter line that I made. I'm not exactly sure what they're supposed to be. I'm pretty sure they were sheep. Maybe I think they were sheep, and he's a football player, so American football, I should say. But I don't really know much to say about it. Also, I'm gonna be making fun of I'm gonna make fun of these a lot because it's me. I made them, so I can do that. I can make fun of myself because it's myself. I can do that. But anyways, it's a fire type if you can't tell. But something I don't know why they don't have ears. They none of them have ears. They have horns, but they don't have ears. Which is weird. Also, it like barely changes in the evolution, which is kind of, it gets another tail and it gets a hat, and that's like it. That's like all that changes, really. I think that this one would be a strong one to redesign, at least the first form, because there's potential here. There's potential here for something. I want to give it a chance. I want to give it a second chance. Alrighty, for our first redesign of the day, we have this little guy. And as I mentioned earlier, when I first drew this as a little kid, I don't think I knew what a lamb or a sheep even looked like. For starters, they don't have ears. None of them do. Which really just makes them look super uncanny. So the most obvious change is giving them big floppy ears. Well, the second most noticeable change, the first is of course the proportions. The original design almost has the proportions of a middle stage starter, with just a small head compared to the original starter, heck, just first stage Pokemon in general. It also has these long legs that just feel really stiff, so this redesign has a much larger head with bigger eyes, moved much lower to give it a massive forehead that everyone finds so adorable. The original has this weird 70s V-neck collar kind of thing that I made look like a bandana to fit with the farm aesthetic. I'm pretty sure I was scared it wouldn't look like a fire type when I first made it, like 8-ish years ago, so it has these very literal flame patterns on the legs and even straight up fire on the ankles and the end of the tail. For the former, I translated those into more subtle, stylized fire patterns that look more akin to a candle flame than the fire decals you would find on a sports car. For the latter, I gave it these little tufts of fur that look like flames but aren't. I still don't know why the original's tail is so long and... Wait, is this supposed to be a cow? Like, no, like this isn't even a bit. I'm just now realizing that the original might be a cow, because that would explain the weird, like, pig-like nose, the long tail, the emphasis on the horns, and I think this was originally supposed to be a cow. Like I said, this isn't even a bit. Like, I'm just realizing this as I'm recording. It's too late to change it now. Oops, I guess. Lamber, from lamb, ember, and amber, referencing its orange color. A fire type with the ability Blaze and hidden ability No Guard. Lamber are quite timid, taking quite a while to warm up to anyone. Their fleece is pleasantly warm, even when sheared off. Because of this, Lamber wool coats were very popular in long, harsh winters. When it gets upset, its horns glow red hot. This Pokemon enjoys sleeping in bales of hay. However, because of their high external body heat, the hay tends to spontaneously combust. To prevent this, lumber farmers choose to give them ever so slightly damp hay to lay on.
Okay, next up we got these guys. Now, not a lot of them have names, but these ones do, for some reason. Synthicone. I'm pretty sure what it's based on is, I remember when I was a kid, I read that some pine cones only release their seeds once they, during like forest fires, because they're covered in like a resin and whatnot. So it's a little, little pine cone guy that turns into its sunny form when it's in the sun. Now, why is it grass and steel if it's 4 times weak to fire in the sun? I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's very spiky, much more so than an average Pokemon design. But it's something. It's something. There's, it's yeah, it's literally just a pine cone. I don't really know what to say. And now these guys are cool. So another one of the ones that actually has a name, Jikun and Bakken. I don't remember what they come from. I remember that I saw somewhere that all of the Pikachu clones have all their names stay the same in Japanese. Of course, I made this before Palmy or Pomo or Palmot came out. But I don't remember what they are. Jikun and Bakken. If someone knows what that means, tell me in the comments. But I remember it's based on like lab rats and like mutating DNA. Because if you look closely, this guy's got 6 arms. That's weird. And he's poison type. Because like the chemicals in a lab. I think there's something here. There's definitely potential here. This one's cool. I don't remember why I gave it a springtail, but it's interesting. It's an interesting little design thing. I don't know.
Now, although Bakken is originally an electric and poison type, I chose to completely change up its typing to normal and psychic. The normal is mostly because of the colors I chose for it, making it look a bit like an albino or lab rat. But the psychic is a bit more interesting. The original poison type was because of the chemicals and experiments and the like, but if its whole thing is mutation, that implies changes to DNA. And in Pokemon, DNA is expressed through the psychic type, with Pokemon like Mew, who has the DNA of all other Pokemon, or Deoxys, who is a space virus who had its DNA mutated. Heck, Deoxys' name literally comes from deoxyribonucleic acid, the long official name for DNA. The only time I can think of a Pokemon that is explicitly related to DNA that isn't a psychic type is Eevee with the unstable DNA, but even then, Eevee is just meant to be a blank slate to contrast with all the fun evolutions, and even then it has a psychic type evolution, so it's fine. So, psychic type DNA rat. I wanted to make its extra pair of limbs look more subtle, to look like they weren't fully developed. One thing that I did want to keep was its creepy blank stare, looking like it's staring off into space. Especially weird and creepy with the albino red eyes. Speaking of which, it also has a tiny little red dot on its forehead, which is actually a third eye. It's small and undeveloped like its arms, but it also references more spiritual and supernatural definitions of a third eye, to contrast with the literal third eye, like it literally just has 3 eyes. It also ties it back to the psychic type. I'm not entirely sure why I decided to make it bounce on its tail, but it's a pretty harmless and fun little concept, so I decided to keep it. I made it a whole lot fluffier than its original counterpart, which was mostly just to give it a fun silhouette. This one is probably my least favorite of the 4 I'm doing today, but it's still a pretty sweet design if I do say so myself. Here is Bakken from... I still don't know. If anyone can figure it out, please tell me in the comments. A normal and psychic type with the abilities Adaptability and Insomnia. Experiments involving drawing out a Jikun's latent psychic powers has caused it to evolve, sprouting extra limbs and a third eye. It dissociates easily and bounces on its tail to ground itself in reality. The third eye on its forehead sees not light but an individual's DNA. Despite looking oblivious most of the time, Baken's brain is constantly being overloaded with hundreds of thoughts every second. So it doesn't get overwhelmed by all this information, Baken bounces on its tail. Its evolution was triggered by a dubious experiment.
Okay, moving on. This one... Okay, this is the first one that is not finished, and it won't be the last. Because it's like a magic horse, I think. I made this before Galarian Rapidash, by the way. So... And it's not a unicorn, there's no horn. There might have been a horn. I don't remember what I was thinking when I was like 8 or something. I don't know. What is there to say here? It's just a horse with like magic wispy tail and whatnot. No face, because even I knew there was like nothing here. Like, what do you even do with this? I don't know. Okay, another one that I never finished. There's this guy, I think it was a Roadrunner, I think, maybe. He's got a little egg diaper, and he has a hat. And I started drawing the evolution, but I gave up after the legs because I didn't like it. So, I mean, it's a little bird. It's a little bird. I think it was an ostrich, I think. Not an emu, because I didn't know what an emu was. I was like, and when I remember when I first learned what an emu was, I was like, that's just a knockoff ostrich. So, that's my, that's a little bit of lore about little kid me, I guess. Alright, now, this guy's kind of cool. He's kind of cool. He's a magician. He's a magician. It was a ghost type that was like ghost and psychic, I believe, and it was it's this weird, like, I don't know. It's like it's a magician. I don't know. I'm pretty sure, and he evolves by giving him like this staff, and he's got hands opening his cloak, and he's a cool guy. I don't know why this guy, he has 2 right hands, which is weird, but okay, sure, I guess. And this one specifically, I think I remember drawing it after watching Princess and the Frog, and he was based on, I don't remember his name, but the big bad guy in that movie, the voodoo guy, because I thought that he was super cool, and so I made a Pokemon based on him. So this is it. It's a little. Also, I think this one was partially based on a Kirby enemy, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe. I don't know.
This one was really fun to redesign. It's by far the one that changed the least, but that's fine. This little guy, as I mentioned, is based on magicians, specifically magic hats and wands. I'm not really a big fan of when Pokemon are just holding something, especially in the base stage. Like, yeah, you were definitely born just holding a hammer, or with a rock, or a baby. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate these designs. In fact, I'm quite a big fan of Dwebble. It's just a little pet peeve I have. So here, instead of just holding a magic wand, one of its fingers would look like a magic wand. This way, it looks way more connected to the design and not just a random object, and also brings to mind waving a finger to do magic, kind of like the move Metronome. There honestly isn't a lot to say here. Like I said, it's the most faithful to the source material. I did end up making the hands a lot rounder to give it a softer and friendlier look, and it has this feather in the hat, and the cuffs of the gloves are this nice orange color to add some color to break up the black and white. Its ghostly body now has a more physical shape, though this makes the Pokemon look even more like a Kirby enemy rather than an actual Pokemon. One neat little detail is that the ghostly dark bits don't have any line art. I'm honestly pretty proud of the rendering of this one. It really helps with visualizing the shape of the hat. Here is Chapouf, from chapeau, meaning hat in French, and pouf, a ghost and psychic type with the ability magician and hidden ability clear body. Chapouf are made from the will of a magician who wished to perform and began inhabiting the hat and gloves that it once wore. When they wave their finger, uncanny things can happen to the world around them. They are rather playful. Often found in urban areas, these Pokemon are often blamed for strange occurrences within cities. A single wag of their finger can make small objects or even certain Pokemon such as Bunnelby appear out of thin air.
Okay, next we got these. Okay, for this one I have to give a little bit of backstory. So, me and my cousin we like collaborated to make a lot of these. And my cousin, like he would give like some of the ideas and I would draw them. My cousin was super big into baseball, so he said make a bear Pokemon based on the Cubs, like the baseball team. So I did that. I made a bear Pokemon that plays baseball. He's got shoulder pads, because and he's got a big stick he plays baseball with, and oh, he's so cool, and big bear. I don't know why, but it took me the longest time to be able to draw bears right. This one, and then there's another one from Caltesia, my first region I made. That's a bear, and that one was also really bad. But I got it down eventually. I know how to draw bears now, so yay! Okay, now we got this guy. This guy is interesting. So it's a psychic type Reggie that is based on, it's like Stardust, and it's like a nebula. If you watched my Reggie of every type video, I also made a psychic type Reggie that's made of Stardust in that video. And so that one was partially based on this guy right here. And you can see right here, actually, I also made a poison type one. That's like sludge and now, if you can't tell, they're like identical. They're like exactly the same. So I was not exactly the most original, because like it's just the exact same body plan. I don't know what to say. Okay. These guys are cool. It's a pseudo-legendary that was based on Quetzalcoatl, I think. So it starts off. It starts off as just, like a little bird. It's just a bird, and then it turns into this, and he's getting horn. He gets horns. He gets like a long snake tail, and he's got claws on the end of his wings. So they look like it's getting more serpent-like, and then it finally turns into this, which is like, oh, it's a big bird dragon. Oh, he's got the cool headdress, and oh, he's so cool. This one was cool. I was proud of it when I first made it, and even then, I mean, of course, there's flaws. I mean, why is he just looking straight that way? There's no. Both of these two are like, they're not. They have no depth. They're literally just like looking off to the side, but they're cool. I think I can definitely do something with redesigning this guy. Maybe more snake-like? Maybe? Maybe.
For this design, my main goal was to make it simultaneously more bird-like and more serpent-like. The bird features were pretty easy, with the most noticeable change being to the beak becoming crooked and almost vulture-like, the eyes being moved to the side of the head, and the legs going from this vaguely animalistic leg to something more bird-like, though you can barely see them in the final design. There are also just a bunch more feathers over the body aside from the head and wings. The serpent elements are a lot less noticeable, but I assure you they're there, mostly in the more fluid pose the new one has. Speaking of the pose, that's probably the biggest improvement from the original. The first one is super flat, just being a side profile and a lame, passive pose. The redo is much more active, being an aggressive attack stance and its back arched almost like a cat hissing. Very suitable for a pseudo-legendary. I also took the wings away somewhat. Since it is evolving from literally just a bird, it doesn't make sense for it to randomly gain an extra pair of limbs. So instead I merged the arms and wings into these cool feathered, half-wing, half-arm things that make it look more monstrous, but also still make sense from an evolutionary standpoint. In fact, if evolution is supposed to be making it more like Quetzalcoatl as it progresses, it should be losing limbs rather than gaining them, since Quetzalcoatl isn't usually known for having limbs. The feathered headdress is also made less prominent, but still a central part of the design. Little nitpicks aside, this one is just so cool. The colors are, of course, green, red, and yellow, the main colors associated with Quetzalcoatl, and some black accents for variation and to make it look more aggressive and dangerous. Everything about it is just awesome. It might be one of my favorite designs I've ever made to date. I know I say that for just about every video, but I guess that means I'm constantly improving, right? Also, I completely forgot about Smogus, but consider this my contribution. Plumaviant, from Plumage, Avian, and Serpent. A flying and dragon type with the abilities Intimidate and Mold Breaker. This Pokemon rules the skies of its territory. A fierce hunter, it is known to swoop down on unsuspecting prey at Mach speeds. Many of those who worshipped Rayquaza believed that Plumaviant was an emissary of the Lord of the Skies. This Pokemon is covered in natural weapons, from its talons to its beak and even its forked tail. Despite losing much of its feathers upon evolution, it can fly faster than ever before. They stalk the canopies of rainforests that they call home for prey. And that's it for this video. Or is it? That's right, I'm not the only one who redrew my old Fakemon. A few weeks ago, I asked the good people over at my Discord server to redesign some of my oldest Fakemon that I've posted to my channel. And from that, we got this Popokonose by Frostbite, all of the Ultra Beast starters I did by Viscerae, and Desol by Purple EXE. So if you too want to participate in future events, or just hang out with a cool and friendly community, check it out. Link in the description. And before I leave, I just want to make some notes on the future of the channel. Currently, my schedule is a video every 3 weeks, but since I'm starting a packed college year, a new job, and going through some personal stuff, I might not be able to keep up with that. So if I can't get a video out on schedule every time, just know that you have been warned. But with that being said, see ya! And here's to another 5,000 subscribers and another 3 years on YouTube.